Hey guys, it's Nick. Thanks for tuning into Long Island Wargaming, and this is a 2,500 point battle versus Dave. He's our newest player. He's playing Wood Elves. This is his third game ever. This is a double header. We're able to play two games. Only difference was his lore choices. So the second game will be up sooner than later. He does frequent the channel, so if you have any constructive criticism or ideas and/or advice, feel free to leave it below. If you have nothing nice to say, put it below anyway, I guess, and we'll just all call you an asshole. I don't know. But so let's get on into it. So for Magic, I guess I lost my cards at Brawler's Bash. I have to see if I can find them, but I got Skitter Leap and Warp Lightning for my level 2 Engineer. And when I'm playing against Elves, I usually roll up all Plague. So I got the Dreaded 13th, I got Wither, Plague, and Cloud of Corruption. Also, if you're curious about this list composition, it is a Crossroads comp list, and it is in a separate video. If I remember, I'll put it in the description below. I don't remember Dave's list entirely in detail, however, we do have all of his spells. We have Awakening of the Wood, Earthblood, and we've got Shield of Thorns. I guess those all go with the level 1 branch rates that he has. He also has 4 spells from High Magic. All I remember is Walk Between Worlds, along with the Dwellers Below, Regrowth, Throne of Vines, and Flesh to Stone. And apparently the Curse of Anran here. So here's deployment. We stick pretty much to the left side of the board. The right, there's not too much going on. There is some units in the back left of his table quarter, which are 2 units of scouting Glade Riders with the flaming attacks against destruction forces, which will be good against the hell pits. He'll be wounding on 5s, and there will be no regen. I've got some gutter runners off to the left too, which will be coming in during scouting phases too. Actually, I'm going to sneaky infiltrate them so they stay alive, because if I scout them, odds are they'll get shot down. So I've got my monks, and then the level 2 caster in there, and then we got slaves, rat dart, 2 hell pits, warp fire thrower, and then in the vermin unit, I have the Bonebreaker Lord. He's proxying the War Litter. So it's a Lord on War Litter. The BSB and Grey Seers in there, so it's kind of a little Storm Vermin Death Star. Death Star not really meaning it's good. It's killy. It's more just that's where all my heroes are, I guess. So I got some more slaves and rat darts to the right, and we'll take a look at the Wood Elves. We have a horde of Dryads. We're going to try to make those work today. I know they're tough to really make work. I know their strength being down to 3 and their initiative down to 5 isn't too useful, but we're going to try to make those work. We have a unit of Glade Guard with True Flight arrows. There's some heroes scattered around and some branch rates. 3 branch rates actually in the unit of Dryads. There is a unit of Sisters to the left of the forest. That's the free forest that he placed down right there. And there is no Wild Riders this game, so he wanted to try doing some other things, seeing if some of those other units will work. We also have here to the right, the Warhawk Riders, which after the 2 games he decided is definitely not worth it. You can do better things with the points. His words, not mine. So we go ahead and drop the Storm Banner first turn as the Wood Elves get their turn. So these guys move like 2 inches, I guess, because their base movement is 1 from what he said, so they don't go anywhere. I was debating on holding the Storm Banner until turn 2, because when those scouts show up with the flaming arrows, the hell pits are going to die. So I'm like, should I save it? Should I use it? I just decided to use it now. This way, you know, these guys can't fly and all the other shooting sucks. But then again, True Flight is already hitting on 3s, so I later decided that it was probably a good idea to just save it. But all in hindsight. So we start moving the Branth Wraiths and the Dryads over to the left here. He wants to try sneaking them into the forest. He's going to use, or he's going to try to use Walk Between Worlds, but it does not end up getting off during the magic phase. But with magic in mind, he gets 7 dice, I get 5. The only spell to get off successfully is Curse of Anran here onto these monks. So I guess I'm not going to be moving them because I don't feel like having them die. So yeah, like I said, the Walk Between Worlds is denied, so he's not able to shuffle those guys down into the forest a bit more, but he does get Throne of Vines off, which is nice. I hate this spell because it only makes the game worse for me. And it looks like Miscellaneous Shooting kills 8 Slave Rats. And to Skaven turn 1, the Storm Banner immediately ends. And I move forward as quickly as I can. I want to take advantage of those uh, Dryads that are kind of exposing a flank to me. I mean, I know he's going to have a moment to fix them. He kind of messed up his deployment, and he's trying to correct it now. Really, the Dryads should be in the forest so we can get those poison attacks and everything. And then the archers that have true flight should probably be somewhere on the back line, because it doesn't matter where the hell they are, they're going to be hitting on threes anyway. So in Magic, he gets 2 Dispel Dice, I get 4 Power Dice, and I've got 3 tokens. So I successfully get a Plague off, which is pretty nasty. Not as tough since it's toughness 4 Dryads, but still enough to kill a handful of guys. The Doom Rocket falls considerably short. Uh, I rolled 5 dice because I was like 17 inches away. The magic number is 14 inches away. I get 14 inches away, roll 4 dice. But at this point, I was like 17 inches away. I rolled 5 dice, and I still rolled really, really low. So this would have been beautiful if I landed this on the Dryads, but nope. So for Wood Elf turn 2, the Warhawk Riders go ahead and issue charge on the Rat Dart. I issue a Flee, and they run through the slaves. He redirects into the slaves and false charges. Now these two guys, these two units show up from behind. These are the Glade Riders with Forces of Destruction arrows. And the sisters also move up through the forest here. They're pretty close. My Plague Monks aren't too far away. I need like a 9 to charge, which means he's like 14 inches away from me. I'll take that. I mean, my guys are frenzied with leadership. Looks like leadership 8 with the engineer in there, but I wouldn't have moved these guys as close. For Winds of Magic, he gets 9 dice. I get 6 Dispel dice. And you can see here from this shot that he was able to even out those Dryads, and some of them are going to be getting poison attacks. Now the archers, unfortunately, are just half of them are blocked, so he's going to be shooting at slaves or plague monks, or he's going to slowly shimmy them down, and maybe shoot at the hell pits after they lose regen. So something like that. So I deny all the spells that he gets off except Flesh to Stone, which makes these guys toughness 8 now since Throne of Vines is up. So that's pretty nasty. And my random move guys are gonna have to run in. I'm not gonna have them turn around or go sideways. I'm gonna have to do it. There is a Waystalker hiding somewhere amongst the ranks. He does take a sniper shot and deals a wound to this level 2 engineer. The Glade Riders in the back failed to take a Hell Pit down during shooting, which kind of sucks because now the Warp Fire Thrower is going to turn around and shoot at them. You can see this is actually into Skaven turn 2. One Hell Pit makes it in, and the other one falls short, and now I just got Rat Darts chaffing up these guys if for some reason they do kill the Hell Pit. I don't want him hitting one of my Hell Pits. I would like my Hell Pits to get impact hits and get in on the charge in a round that these guys aren't toughness 8. The Gutter Runners show up from behind. Not sure what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to just Poison Sling these archers. I mean, I could have put them somewhere on the side and Poison Sling the sisters, but then they've got the 4 ward save, and I don't feel like dealing with the Warhawk Riders, so I decided this was best. And like I said, the Warp Fire Thrower is going to turn around and lose his, he doesn't move, but he loses his ward save now. And he's going to flame these guys in shooting. This guy was rolling armor saves and ward saves like a champ. He has a 6-up armor save after the armor piercing arrows. He was making 6-up armors about 3 or 4 times from different shots from different units, and his ward save, he rolled a ward save every time, so it's crazy. Winds of Magic, he ends up getting 6 dice. I get 8 power dice. He's channeling like a champ too because he's got the 3 branch wraiths and 2 level 4 casters, so getting 6s is not too hard for him. So I got to even the playing field a little bit for the Hell Pit to do some damage, so I do get Wither off successfully onto the Dryads, so they are permanently at -1 and temporarily at +4, which now leaves them at toughness 7, so the Hell Pit will wound on 5s. And the Condenser Warp Lightning from the Engineer kills 2 sisters. I think it actually panics them, but I don't remember. I roll a 2 for the Warp Fire Throw, which is the only roll that I didn't need, except a misfire. But I fall short and I don't hit any of the Glade Riders. And in combat, the Dryads, a few of them die from the Hell Pit, and it does not look like the Hell Pit takes any wounds. Oh, yeah, they do turn and panic. So the sisters are on the run. So shit goes down in Wood Elf turn 3. The Warhawk Riders go ahead and flank charge the Storm Vermin, which is interesting because I forget that they have Killing Blow on the charge, the Hawks, and my Warlord on War Litter is technically still infantry, so I'm pretty sure he can Killing Blow him if he decides to. And or my BSB, which is sitting in the corner. So he gets 7 power dice, I get 6 dispel dice, and he gets Flesh to Stone off again. So these guys are still at +4 toughness. So at +4 -1 from toughness 4, they are at toughness 7. The creepy Waystalker decides to shoot this guy out, and he is dead. The Glade Guard had Swift Reform, so they turn around and shoot these guys. Surprisingly, they pass on their Leadership 7, so they do not run away. So these guys, instead of charging him, they move all the way up. Because if they would have charged him, he would have gotten a counter shot. Which means I probably would not have rolled a 2, and I would have actually killed them. But moving them this close was an idea that we decided together was best because he could shoot at him and probably kill him. But if he doesn't kill him and I go to shoot, if I roll a 2, I hit like 2 guys. If I roll anything higher, I just completely overshoot him. So it's a safe place. It's a safe place, I think. So this combat was just annoying to figure out because we've got Always Strike Elves, and then we've got High Initiative Storm Vermin, and then we've got my Lord, and then my BSB. So we had to map it all out, but at the end of the day, he ends up blowing my BSB, which props to him. I wasn't anticipating that. And he does a wound or 2 onto the War Litter guy, but his armor saves it, which means the hits go back to him. But I somehow managed to only kill 1 Warhawk Rider and do a wound to a second. So I still end up winning combat, and he does break, but I restrain. And over here, the Hell Pit only kills 3 Dryads, because these guys are so tough to kill. If I'm not rolling high for my Thunder Stomp, and I'm not getting a good roll on the Hell Pit Abomination chart, I'm not going to do that great. So these Dryads are putting up a fight just with their toughness. So if there's any way to make them offensive, example, shift them down 6 inches and be in a poison forest, that'd be great. So he's kind of making these guys work. However, there's nothing supporting them. A flank charge from Wild Riders or something scary would be beneficial, but I mean, it's, you know, it would have to be mapped out better, I guess, in the plan. But these guys are putting up a bigger fight than I was anticipating. So we move into Skaven turn 3. The Plague Monks are making a run up the left side so they can go charge the Glade Riders from behind. I think that would be helpful. I'm not sure if Plague Monks really fit in this list. It's, you know, they didn't do anything because of Curse of Onrun here, but I don't know. It's such a small unit of 30. But the other Hell Pit goes ahead and gets in. You can see they actually have 2 wound counters each on them. The one on the left has 3 wounds from the flaming arrow shots in both turns of shooting, and the one on the right has 2 wounds just from Dryads getting wounds through. So he denies in my magic phase both Plague and Wither. I got 5 dice. I got 7 dice. He got 5 dice. He didn't really need to even bother doing getting rid of the Plague because I was going to do it on the Dryads because I'm like, oh, my Hell Pits, they have high toughness, they'll pass. I'm forgetting the freaking Dryads are also toughness 7 right now, so I probably would have even forgot to do it on the Glade Guard, which is funny, but he denies it anyway, which, you know, can't blame him, and I was going to try to get Wither off onto the Dryads again, but he is able to dispel that also. The Warpfire Thrower that is still alive. He keeps rolling armor saves like a champ. He actually turns and shoots the unit to the side here, which we didn't really think about when we were talking about our let's get real close to the Warpfire Thrower strategy, but he only kills 2 guys there, and they pass their leadership test, so they're fine. And in combat, we go ahead and kill 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Dryads, and there's 2 wounds on the branch wraiths now. The left Hell Pit has 4 wounds on him, and the right Hell Pit has 2. So these Hell Pits should have grinded through these Dryads so much quicker than they are now. But hey, Flesh to Stone, Throne of Vines, what are you gonna do? So Wood Elf turn 4. The Glade Guard is still shooting at the Gutter Runners. He gets 6 winds of magic, or he gets 6 dice and winds of magic. I get 5, so it's crazy. He tries to get Dwellers Below off onto the Storm Vermin, but I have to deny that. I need to keep those guys alive, just because they house all my heroes, but they're the only fighting combat unit I have, except for the Hell Pits. So Yep, and I finally get Flesh to Stone to not get off, so I deny it, and it looks like I'm going to be able to chew through these Dryads real quickly now. Hail of Doom arrow is fired off, and there's a huge upset. It only kills 4 Storm Ribbon. The remaining 3 Gunner Runners are shot down, and the 4 Fire Thrower is also shot down, finally. So we finally get down to our last rank of Dryads, so I'm grinding away on them. If he had gotten larger Winds of Magic phases, he probably would have been regenning these guys, because if I remember correctly, he's got regrowth. And Throne of Vines was up, but it was between regrowthing them or just making them toughness 7, 8, depending on whether Wither was up or not. And that's something, you know, why don't you guys post below, what would you have done? Would you have been regrowing them? Or would you have just been giving them toughness 8, toughness 7 the whole time? Because it's something that I was trying to figure out, like, what is better? I mean, the Hell Pit's attacks are so random because he could roll a shitty roll on the chart, and he could also get a really shitty roll on Thunder Stomps. I mean, yes, it's 2 Hell Pits. There's nothing else you could freaking do about that. But if it wasn't Hell Pits and you were fighting something else, would you have been focusing on regrowing them, or would you have focused on giving them toughness? So this picture is Skaven turn 4. The slaves go in for a flank charge, and I've decided it's just going to be real easy for me to grind down those Dryads now. So I only have 2 pictures left. This one showing that the Greyseer almost dies from the Waystalker sniping him. I think that Waystalker's interesting. He's good at taking down toughness 3 heroes with no armor like my Warp Lightning Engineer or other level 1 or 2 casters in other armies. But it's crazy when he almost kills this guy with his 4 board save. He failed it twice. But this is the last picture I have because we do kill all the Dryads, and we figured, hey, we're not gonna go crazy and have me run down the Glade Guard and whatnot. And you know what? I told Dave, I was like, hey, I feel like a real jerk, like totally crushing you with 2 Hell Pits front and center. But he was very like, no, dude, this is the game. We're gonna play it. We're gonna make it work. And that's a good attitude for somebody that's playing Wood Elves, because I have no idea how you make the half of this army work. Like, look at the freaking Dryads. Like, he's trying to make them work, but like, there's so many things you have to do. You have to give them Occams, or they have to be in a poison forest. Like, I feel like with the Wood Elf army, there's so many things you have to do to make them work. Where other armies, it's like, you know what, I could piece something together. Here are my dwarves, let's go fight. Here are my Warriors of Chaos, let's go fight. With the elves, you gotta run around the forest, and you have to make sure that you're in the forest. This way you can get your extra ranks of attack and your extra ranks of shooting. And I don't know, it's a very gimmicky army to me. I really liked Wood Elves all through 6th edition. I was afraid of them because I could never kill them. They had every table quadrant, which is part of the way the game ran back then. Forests were freaking impossible to deal with because if you were within like 2 inches of the edge, it was like -2 to hit, and they couldn't see you and all this weird shit. And now I'm like, I don't know what I would do if I played them. I mean, you could play Anthony's style where you do, I think, what is it, Death and Shadow, or some fun combination that, you know, you lower toughness and then you purple sun people, but I don't know. So, but this was game 1 of 2. We do another game since Ryan and Kyle are in the background playing Lizardmen versus High Elves, so we decide, hey, you know what? Instead of finishing out this game, we'll start another game, and we'll switch out, I believe, High Magic for Shadow Magic to see if that does anything. So, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.